Good evening, the people of Zambia, especially the people of Copper Belt, the people of Chiwempala, the people of Lusaka, the people of Southern Province, the people of Western Province, the people of Northwestern, Muchinga, Northern, Eastern Province. I greet you today as we bring to you the TVBAKWETU, and today I'm with our TVBAKWETU friend, Mr. Mapanza Kwirimba. Mr. Mapanza, please, can you greet the people?
Thank you, Joram. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, friends and the brothers and sisters in diaspora. Greetings to Bakwetu family, the people in Chiwempala. We saw them singing happily with Dr. Musha today. So, yeah, welcome to this presentation again today.
Thank you, Mr. Kurimba. Today we'll continue discussing the issue of the budget, but I want to drag you to two members of parliament that you want to cheapen the debate of the budget. One is the Rumezi, a member of parliament, who is the Honorable Miona Zulu, and also Honorable Mao Sampa, who has also brought in other things that may not be adding up and much relevant, as he may want to portray or reduce the budget to such kind of a discussion. Well, we have important issues to discuss in the budget and analyze according to the way we are supposed to do. So today, Mr. Kurimba, I've prepared myself. I've come with a calculator so that maybe we can help the people and people can understand. And I've also written down the figures that were presented in the budget and how we can progress from there so that we can move as one and we can all move to support the 2022 budget for the new Dawn administration that has shown itself to be a proper budget, and the budget that has shown and that has come with a lot of meaning. Let me leave a minute for you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Jerome. You are as prepared as usual. Thank you for being that prepared, and that data that you have collected is going to help us perhaps respond to those people that are dwelling on what seems to be minor rather than looking at the big picture of looking at this budget, which is an excellent budget from a layman's point of view. But obviously, when you compare to previous budgets, this is the first time ever that we have had such a good budget. It actually brings in the big thinking that our president, His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema, brings into this governance. When you look at people who are criticizing right now, the problem is that we tend to be small thinkers. I think it's high time we began to think big. This is a national budget. It's not, it's not a provincial budget. It's a national budget, and there are so many challenges that needs to be met. So to see the leadership take this stand, bringing in, a budget that is really a proper budget, a budget that is going to respond, especially to the needs of the people in the rural areas. The aspect of moving money from Lusaka to the constituencies. I know that that has its own challenges. For example, this is the first time that constituencies are going to have that kind of money. It's a huge amount of money, and I'm not quite sure how they will, deal with that right now, because there has to be a lot of groundwork that has to be done in as far as managing the resources that are going to go down to the constituencies. Already, when you look at the guidelines for the Constituency Development Fund, the figures that have released now should have been figures that were planned for in the first quarter of this year, so that they should be applied in the coming year. And now we are facing a situation where there may not be plans, development plans in place at the constituency level, and yet the resources are here. So that's it's a double challenge. Yeah, but I think it's something that can be managed, but there's a lot of work. I don't think that we should take this lightly. There's a lot of work that the Minister of Local Government and the Rural Development has to do in terms of ensuring that there's capacity at the constituency level, at the ward level, to manage the resources that are going to go there.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think that's very, very true. And just like you have said, there is some regulation that have been put in place that have been forwarded by the Minister of Local Government, and they are educating or telling the people how the WDC need to be chosen, and I've seen there are a lot of activities in most of the wards, most of the constituencies, in terms of making sure that these committees are put in place. But coming to the main issue that we are talking now about here, we have an issue of Mouse Sampa trying to say that there is a figure in the budget of 32.7 billion, which is not adding up. I think, Mr. Kwirimba, myself being a junior to Mouse Sampa, or Mouse Sampa being my junior in terms of the university where we came from, coming from the University of Zambia, also both of us entering through the school of natural sciences, where we do mathematics, where we do other things, and him going further to do other studies, which also involves mathematics, and that I'm very much disappointed in such a way that you see, when Mouse samples at the University of Zambia, actually, they were not allowed to enter in the exams with calculators. Even when he was writing his Form 5 or grade 12, they were not allowed to use calculators. But now there are issues of calculators being allowed. So I'm considering him to be one of the creams and one of the intellectuals that has seriously brain power to calculate and do things accordingly. I think so. But Mouse is trying to use cheap propaganda, from what I've seen, and in the way he's using cheap propaganda, is trying to swear the people from what is important. You see, from what is important to start discussing something that is not important. And this is what he's trying to do. Let me first try to say, and why I'm trying to put this point across. When you check in the budget, there is a component where they have put to say the total budget for the 2022 is about 172 billion kwacha that has been put aside. And from the 1.2 billion kwacha, according to the estimate, they have put the allocation per each expenditure that the government wants to spend on. And from there, they have also gone further to calculate the percentages on what need to be put there in terms of that. So I'm very much disappointed in such a way that Mouse Sampa was supposed to use the percentages and calculate the exact figure. And I was very much happy about the comment by President Hakainde Hichilema, who showed his humbleness by even commenting on Mouse Sampa's post on Facebook by stating that whatever you are talking about, go debate in Parliament. Anyway, let me leave stop here and give you an opportunity first. Mouse Sampa is claiming that 32.7 billion is not adding up, but Mouse Sampa is as an intellectual, he has failed to comment on the percentages, because once you take the percentages, it is indicating that it is 99.9% of whatever it is there. Then you can use the percentage and calculate the figure that's supposed to be there. So what is your comment over that?
Jeremy, I've been wondering whether it's worth giving Miles Sampa the attention we are giving right now. When you look at the previous budgets by PF, there has never been a perfect budget. The important thing is that if there are those maybe should we call them errors or whatever those findings are, the MPs will have an opportunity to discuss those in Parliament, and if there's need to correct, it will be corrected. So I don't think that we should even give him this attention we are giving him, as far as that issue is concerned.
Yeah, I get your point, but look, we need by all means and all time to deal with any form of propaganda that people are trying to swear away from the members of the public, so that the members of the public can start seeing the budget in the way it's supposed to be done. Because what Mao Sampa and his team and his friends they are trying to do, they're trying to bring propaganda. But look, we are not going to use propaganda to develop this country. This budget has shocked them as PF, and they are dying with shame in such a way that they never thought that we can make such a beautiful budget as UPND. For them, they are thinking like we are going to get the blueprint of whatever the budget which they are making, but they got shocked. For example, he has failed to believe that in his constituents, 25.7 million will be given to his constituents. But instead of him be like Binwa Mpundu, who has come to say, for me, this money I'll use it to develop the Nkana constituents. For him, he wants to show like they were think tanks in PF, where he's bringing shame to most of us, especially as the graduate from the University of Zambia, because he knows the expenses. For example, look, for Ministry of Health, let me give you an example. For Ministry of Health, they have said 13.9 billion that has been allocated, and in those things for bringing for doing down, they have indicated only money for drugs, which is 3.4 billion. They have put only money for infrastructure, which is about 1 point something billion. They have put money for hospital operations, which is the for hospital grants, which is about 800 and something. So you can see that from the Ministry of Health alone, there is about 4 point something billion that have been put in those small lines. The other amount of money has not been put because this has the money for salaries and all that for other health workers. So now I'm failing to understand why an intellectual like Mao Sampa can link such law and start thinking like a grade 2 or someone who has never been to the university. For that matter, the University of Zambia, which is the highest learning institution in this country. I think that's a big shame actually. And we cannot allow ourselves to cheapen ourselves to such kind of debate of trying to say, no, there is 37 point something billion that is not added up or whatever thing. Well, we have the percentages. There is a number which is indicating to say, Ministry of Health, we have given them 8%. So it is the matter of someone, even a grade 1, to get and calculate 8% of 172 billion. Is that difficult, Mr. Kwirimba? Is that difficult? Do you need degrees to do that? Sure.
Well, I think you have aptly put it. I think it just amounts to propaganda, which propaganda I don't think is working, because I think the normal people are focusing on the big picture rather than getting involved in propaganda. And I think you have answered him well. You are a mathematician. He must get that response, and he should really concentrate on the big picture, which they will deal as they begin to sit in Parliament next week. Is it this week actually?
Wise man, what is your comment over Mao Sampa? Please say something. Wise man, the floor is yours. Okay, as we are waiting for Wise man, Mr. Mkeleba, say something over the issue of Mao Sampa before we move to the other side. Say something over the issue of Mao Sampa.
Yeah, about Mao Sampa, I will put my video off tonight. I'm sorry, my viewers. I'm not actually not good presentable. Pamela, the way I look, I'm looking tired and naturally sorry. But Mao Sampa's reaction, Malangele Rakova Mao Sampa, awe Tuamikanina, do not bring politics when the figures don't lie. So if you're more for Kulanda Profiakutirati, the minister has omitted Navachtam, and now there's a difference of about is it 30 whatever million. To me, that's just politics. If you have issues with the budget, like I have seen somewhere where the president advised you to go to parliament and bring up those matters as you debate the budget. Don't preempt your debates, because you are now starting to discuss matters with the public when you should have just waited until you bring your motions in parliament, where you can argue or make some adjustments. You should be happy. The problem I've seen is that now move forward, because this gentleman and the new deal, the new dawn, has beaten you just clean game. They have reduced you to nothing. We can even hear from your sentiments that you are just disappointed the way you were swept or kicked out of power. That is the way he has surprised you with the budget. And this time around, there's no way you can go around and you can say all kind of name calling, but I'm sorry, you will be disappointed, because the people of Zambia, they know what they are supposed to be given, or these monies they have been given in their constituencies, or the new budget really represents. It's the budget of the people, by the people. So we have to understand that not budget ya muntu umo lungu na bantu bakwe is minions. Elo mwasende mpia shonse shiria mwabika matumba yenu. Awe. This time around, Hakainde has shown you, he has proven you wrong. Hakainde has shown you and his people, they've shown you to say the money chirendarama mwale chitafolesha kubantu. You are no longer supposed to do that. You are not supposed to do those things. That was a game. Video games. Mwale chitaran country wati ni country. You are running a country as you are just playing a game. So now lekenu muntu ateke wino. Let him come up with these good ideas. The money that has been given, if anything, that money, in my opinion, is even less. It's not enough. And don't insult people that that money, their constituencies, they cannot manage their money. It's just you, the PF, who think you have the monopoly to have all those colossal sum of money, and the people, the community or the society cannot have that money. Kutumpoko. So just be in your lane. Go to parliament and discuss matter respectively in the parliament. Not hotel.
Thank you very much, Wom Kerabai. Wiseman, are you there? Wiseman, your comment. It's like today, Wiseman has issues with the connectivity. I agree with you, Wom Kerabai, and what you have said. You see, it is very shameful for some of us who share the same university with Mao Sampa, for him to shrink such low, for him to fail to handle or debate matters accordingly. Just imagine, when you check the last year's budget, it was the same way, where when you check last year, you find that they have allocated, let's say, Ministry of Health, according to last year, it was about 9-point-something billion. And they just put 2 bullets there to say, oh, we have put 1.4 for drugs. Then from the drugs, we have put 1.3 for infrastructure. And we have put hospital operation 500 and something. That was the thing that was mentioned in last year's budget. The same way it has been mentioned in this year's budget. So why is he saying, why didn't he say that there is a missing of these figures in the previous budget? What type of ignorance which is trying to portray, or I can say it's deliberate ignorance, because that honorable member of parliament is educated. He has passed through the halls of the University of Zambia, and he has been cooked to have critical thinking and critical mind, and he was proved to have that critical mind. But look what he's trying to show to the people. He's trying to show like UNZA does not give people the thing of critical thinking and critical mind. That is very shameful, and that is unacceptable, and it should not bring the standard of the University of Zambia to such low level of thinking. That is unacceptable, and we should condemn all of us who have passed through the University of Zambia. Mr. Kurimba, please.
Yeah, Jerome. As I have said earlier, really, I think it seems Mao Sampa has spoiled your well. He has made your water dirty, and so you are so angry with him. And obviously, what you are saying is true. But should we focus on that, or we should celebrate the fact that this budget is in a way, is really, I mean, in every way, it's fulfilling the promises that the party UPND, and especially the president, during the campaigns. We see that obviously, I mean, there are people who have said, there's some people are even shocked because I was looking at a journalist yesterday who was interviewing the president, and he seemed to have been shocked, about when he thinks of the figures, and say, oh, okay, it's the budget is okay, but we'll wait for the implementation. And I think I heard also the Bo money also make a similar comment when he was saying, okay, the budget, but we'll see whether they are going to implement it. So really, I see no reason why they should doubt the fact that this is a well thought out budget. They have looked at the revenue side and how the money is going to be spent. And I don't think that the European government can fail to fulfill their commitment to raising those resources, ensuring that money goes where it's supposed to go.
No, I understand you very much well. But the issue that we need to do, and the issue that we are doing, is we are debating the propaganda that Mao Sampa and the team wants to show to the people of Zambia, like they are critical thinkers and they are thinking according, but they have shown deliberate ignorance, and he has reduced the standards of the university to such kind of low level of thinking that I'm very much upset about. We are intellectuals. We are told according to be intellectuals and to be as much truthful as possible. So Mao Sampa, what you are saying is not here or there. Please, my elder brother, what you can do is use the percentages and calculate the figures according to the percentages. Then you are going to know exact figure that has been put on each ministry or on each expenditure that the government is planning to spend the money on. Just like the president has guided you to say, once you do that, go to parliament and say, this is what is supposed to be there. This is 8% of that, and this is the other percent of that. But again, I'm not shocked on what is happening, because we have been saying that the PF has its own people who have been doing these things. Now, because we have the percentages, so they wanted to use some figures to start bring to embarrass the government. But look, you cannot embarrass the UPND government, because we are here to see all the propaganda that the PF are trying to put or trying to sell the Zambian people, so that they start thinking the budget is not in the way it's supposed to be done. They have been saying to say, no, this budget, which is there 25 million, like one of the MP, I'm coming out to Lumezi Member of Parliament, Honorable Milna Zulu, who has come to criticize the government to say, look, you are telling us to build clinics, I'm going through everything to build schools, to buy desks, to build police posts, to build roads, and to do the issue of empowerment for the youth and the women, and also to do the issue of bursaries in the 25.7 million. According to him, that the money is too small for those kind of works to be done. I think, Mr. Kwirimba, I'm at pain right now, if I can say so. And I think the clerk of the National Assembly needs to do an orientation on our members of parliament to understand what laws they can do and what need to be done by the councils and what need to be done by the central government. In this situation, for example, you see, you don't need to be a rocket scientist. No wonder the drafters of the Constitution mentioned to say, for you to be a member of parliament, you just need to be a grade 12, not to be a university graduate, but just to be a grade 12, because they know very well that you don't need to be a rocket scientist to understand some of these things. 25.7 million, 25.7 million, building a clinic, a rural health post in his constituency, that is Lumezi. Lumezi, it is a rural constituency. And rural constituency, when you check very well, you find that it may have about 9 to 10 wards. And to the PF exaggerated kind of construction, let's say clinics, Mr. Kwirimba, PF was doing clinics, building a clinic, those rural health posts, was doing a 350,000 kwacha per health post. Now this person, as let's say in Rumezi, where he is, he has 10 wards. These wards, and you need to know very well that demarcation of a ward depends with the population that is in that certain ward. If the population grows, you find that the wards are going to be demarcated further. And if the population grows for the constituents, you find that the constituents again will be demarcated further, and you are going to have issues of more constituencies in that area. Now in Rumezi, according to the population, they have let's say 10 wards. Then they are saying that building an health post, adding from the already existing health posts. You see, we are not starting from a bush where people have no health post or whatever. They have some health posts. Now imagine we are saying in the constituencies where they are, they build health posts, and one health post goes up to 350,000 according to the PF way of doing things. Times 10, we are talking of about 3.5 million. When you subtract 3.5 million, when you subtract from the 25.7, you discover that you are going to remain with somewhere about 22 point something million kwacha that will remain. And these infrastructures, when you build them, they become permanent, Mr. Kwirimba. They become permanent infrastructure, meaning that in the 2023 budget, which you are going to receive another 25.7 million, you are not going to budget for another clinic. You already done that. You see, you have already done that. Then you say, what other issues that we have been having? We have been having the issues of security. And what type of security here? We have been talking about issues of police post. Police post, you don't need to have a complicated police post. It is just having a reception, a room for the officer in charge at that police post, an office in short, the cells where you separate the cell for women and the men. Then from there you also put some toilets, and all this simple structure cannot cost you above 350,000 kwacha. let's say for each is words, you multiply by 10, you have another 3.5 million kwacha that is going to build police posts, and these are permanent structures. In this 25 million, the government is not saying that once you build a health post like a clinic, you are going to employ the people using 25 million. No, the central government will still employ these people are supposed to come to that police post or the health center. You are going to have 10 police posts. Just when you add the two, it will be about 7 million kwacha that you are going to do to build these permanent structures. 7 million to build these permanent structures. In the next 2023 constituent development, you are not going to budget for this. Then when you check, they are trying to say bursaries. When you heard what the president mentioned and what the minister for finance mentioned, he mentioned to say the bursaries for those secondary school going children who are in boarding schools. The key word is boarding schools. You see, secondary school going children in boarding schools, not college going student, not university going student, but boarding schools. That's where the bursaries will be offered. And besides that, from the 1.6 million that was given in the constituent development, there were some pupils who were sponsored, even some students to some nursing schools, some colleges, and all that. How were their previous MPs were managing in 1.6 million, but now we have 25 million. So I'm failing to understand. Let me bring it to you. Let me leave it to you. Then I allow also Vom Kerabai to come in as we can see him now.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
should I go in first? Perhaps
Mr. Mkela, can you mute yourself? Then you come in immediately. Mr. Kulimba finishes.
yeah, Jeremy, perhaps the MP is still confused or he's still shocked that the Constituent Development Fund has been increased from 1.6 million to 25.7 million in a year. So I think he's really having problems dealing with that. Two points, as you have already pointed out. First of all, the money that is going to go in those constituencies, it's not just the Constituent Development Fund. There will be other resources that will be coming through other avenues. For example, if you talk about what the Ministry of Youth and Sports will be doing, there will be resources that will be going in those communities. If you talk about the Ministry of Community Development, there will be resources going in those communities. If you talk about Ministry of Agriculture, so that's the first point. There will be many more resources going in those constituencies. And secondly, as you have said, this 25.7 million is not for 2022. I mean, it's only for 2022. There are 5 years of this government. Can you imagine if every year that constituency receives 25.7 million every year in 5 years? That's a lot of money. So I think what our friend, he needs to wake up. He needs to wake up from his dream that this is a reality. The resources are going to go to those constituencies, and his responsibility and other stakeholders is to make sure that they begin to plan to have 1 year to 5 year plans. They can actually mobilize the people and come up with a 5-year development plan. They can set up for the first year. They can look at the priorities. What do they need to do with that 25.7 million in the first year? But they can already begin to have a long-term plan, development plan, 5-year development plan, and they set up their priorities. What are they going to do in the first year? What are they going to do in the second year? And so on. What are they going to do in the 5th year? If they can plan properly, involving the communities, the stakeholders, involve them in a visioning process. For example, at a ward level, you know, they say, okay, what do we want to see this ward to look like in 5 years' time? They can look at how the ward is right now, and they can dream about what they want to see in 5 years from now. And that's how they come up with the development plans to ensure that what they want the ward to become in 5 years' time, that becomes a reality because there are resources. We don't want to see a situation where resources have been moved from Lusaka because it has been, you know, it was being stolen in Lusaka, and now it just moves on to the constituency, and people are just waiting to also have a hand at it and begin to steal from that point. So that's why really, you know, I mean, I'm not saying that our people are not capable of managing resources at the constituency level, at the ward level, but we need to, I mean, we need to realize that it won't be that easy if there's no
Mr.
proper.
PF is not capable. PF is not capable of managing the money. They are planning to see where they can feast and steal.
Well, they need to be watched. I mean, their constituencies will need to be watched. That's why there must be a very strict monitoring mechanism to see how these resources are going to be used. You know, the councils, you know, the professionals at the council, in the councils, are going to have a lot of work because, for example, if you know, this and this is my thinking, they begin to set standards. Because if at ward level people are going to be building schools, you know, there should be at least some specifications, minimum specifications, so that the structures that are built, you know, are reasonable structures. If there are no guidelines, you know, you find in Namshekende they will build, you know, a classroom block that is just 2 meters by 2 meters instead of, you know, a reasonable classroom. So there are those issues that need to be put in place. Those are obvious challenges that that the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development have to put in. And I'm sure they are working on those, but we are just mentioning that they need to get prepared for those things. We don't want the resources that are going to the constituency level to be squandered and to be misused, and people remain, you know, the way they have been for over the years. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bankwirimba. That was very, very good analysis there. You know, me, I'll just say it the way it is. You know, I want to warn my fellow Zambian, that for those who have MPs that came from the previous government, please, we want to say, watch these people. Make sure that you keep an eye on every coin that they are going to spend, because they are used to inflate or to cheat or to lie onto you, the citizens, that this is what they can do from that amount of money. So watch them out. Don't give them a leeway to come in. If you that dispute challenging this budget, which everyone is appreciating, muchilozi tulanda ati yasalumbi kimwana muloi konji mwana muloi kena salumbi mwana wa ndoshi tatasha or indoshi yena taitasha. So don't be indoshi mwema guys, amina sampa. Be reasonable. Mule tasha, when something good has happened to your country by the government, please give credit where it is due. So do not try to negate them, try to put them down. They've just been in an office for just 3 months. And already within 3 months, they are proving you, the previous regime, wrong. And for you to have the audacity to come on the air and start challenging, it is so premature. It is so premature and very, very ignorant of you guys to come out and start. We know you want to bring these checks and balances. Yes, you have all that right. It's your prerogative. But give checks and balances where it is necessary and it's reasonable. Not every decision, even though it is right, you just go in and go into your defense and try to trash your colleagues. that have just been in office for 3 months. For you to even cry about education, free education, from your previous budget, you were still challenging them. They were just barely 2 weeks in an office, and you bring the issues in parliament to state that UPND and the New Dawn and the alliance, they are liars. They are failing to implement or to bring to practice what they've been preaching and promising. Really, you guys, are you serious? Are you that down that these guys just came in yesterday? You guys, you are still shocked. You are still under depression. All these tantrums you are showing us, down deep your heart, you are still crying. Pa media. We know from nowhere. We reduced you, we denied you that you cannot be you cannot monopolize Indalama Chalo to just be concentrate mama politician. This government has shown you that this money has to be given to, has to be decentralized, has to be given to community, to the people. So imwe mule monati abantu benate are not entitled. It's only you, the PF, that is entitled. Mule for mule chitafe control abanenu. Pandalama isha chalo. No ways. Let the people enjoy this money that the government has decided to give. You know, we are going to wait and still just wait. When they fail to implement, that's when you can speak, you can come out with your voices. But this time around, it's premature. It is premature. So if we mona, this government, not Wishivat, this government means well. They say the first cut is the deepest. You know, this government, for them to have started with this kind of force, we know how far, how deep it will go. So in way you are worried that you are going to be erased, all your legacy, the legacy that you guys, especially when it came to inflating figures, Mulei Dumbat, you know, you have built hospitals, you have built roads, the roads that costed a fortune. Meanwhile, it's a poor road that you have got, you were paid less, but the rest of the money you pocketed it. We know that, and that's why we are finding colossal sum of monies. So, I'm warning all the Zambian people to say, Mwewa Kwatama MPs from the previous government, watch this, keep an eye. Keep an eye, don't allow them to don't give them chance to even have the put their nose muri business yama 25 million put them aside, let them just be supervisors, but you the people take care of your responsibility, bring development to your communities. This is what we want. Our politicians, especially our MPs from the previous regime, they have totally messed up the nation. That's why Valetina that imwenga mwaikata 25 million kwacha atitamufuire mwaikata ifuire yaba kuli vena. But if wale mpera tunono filafine mkwisa mipolesha kwati mulimbwa, no, don't allow them. Let the government of Hakainde Chilema continue with this same spirit, and we want to enjoy the dividends. So you guys who are trying to negate us, please, to apapata, leave us alone. Leave the Zambian people alone. Just bring back the monies that you stole, so we can send some of that money to communities, communities for that from the constituents. I'm at 25 million. And please, you UPND and the Alliance, don't be shy. Badek, don't be shy. Go ahead, grab the properties, sendeni. Grab the money, get them. Let them go to court, because judges also, they are tired of all these atrocities and these chaps who were getting away with impunity. So today we have the government that speaks for the people and represent the people's voice, the poor. So why not? Why can't we support this government? So
It's too early for you to start condemning Hakainde Chilemandi regime. It's too early. Be ashamed. You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be, just calm down, go in your homes and stay put, stay in your lane. Wait until you see where they have failed to implement. That's when you can now talk, open that filthy mouths of yours. So please be reasonable. Be reasonable. But please, Zambian people, watch these MPs. Watch them closely.
Thank you. Thank you, Vomke Rabbi, on that good lecture, especially for the Zambian people to watch these gentlemen. What I've seen, they have started putting like everything needs to be done at once, where they have also started questioning to say, how can we give empowerment in the same 25 million? But now you wonder to say, how can an MP say giving empowerment in a 25 million is not going to be there, which is not true. If you get a cooperative for women and you give them to build a police post, is that not empowerment? Is that not empowerment? What is empowerment? Is it dishing out? No.
As far as they are concerned, empowerment is throwing money in the air and let people fight for it. That was their empowerment. So they can't see that there can be empowerment that begins, with the building of skills, for example, of the youths that are not employed or are unemployable. We need to build their skills. When you think of the activities that are going to be happening at constituent level, building of schools, whatever activities will be going there. And the idea is that those resources should remain in those constituencies. And if they are to remain in those constituencies, then we have to prepare the young people who are there, the women who are there, so that they'll be able to use those resources for their own benefit, for their own empowerment, alongside doing other community activities. Because we cannot just look at the community things like roads or bridges or culverts and such things like those. You have to, think of something that will go to individuals, but not as a free gift. Something that will go to them to build their skills, their knowledge, so that they're able to respond to the demands of the area. If it's the building of schools, the community, the youth need to have skills in building. They need skills in carpentry. They need skills in those areas where they need, the women. For example, if it's a place where they can supply uniforms for nurses or for schools or for for workers, that can be done at a ward level. If there's an industry in that ward and they need work suits, for example, why shouldn't women in that area be able to provide those work suits so that the money remains within the ward? So yeah, they are thinking of the empowerment where they were just dishing out money. Dishing out money is not empowerment. Dishing out money is building a dependence syndrome, and that's what they are doing. They have built a dependence syndrome where people just wait for the government to come and drop money to them and that kind of thing. That mentality has to end. Proper empowerment is in building skills, in building knowledge, business skills, in creating businesses, cooperatives, so that the people are able to provide services, and in that way they will have income that they are going to benefit from.
I actually heard, but before you come in, I just heard also the Honorable Minister of Finance encouraging the banks in the rural areas to soften up their hearts, and with this money that's going to be filled into the community, the banks should also allow the youths and those entrepreneurs, small business scale people, to go to the bank and give them soft loans to boost their businesses, because they are going to this money is going to create a lot of opportunities for the people in those communities, not just in Lusaka, the big cities. No, but people in even in Shangombo. Me, I want to see development in Western Province, especially my province has been really, really, really neglected. All this government, except for Manawasa, who came in and gave us that beautiful bridge, you know, but otherwise the rest, it has been just bivavoche pakanwa, just talking. I'm a promissory notes nale lot have fulfilled. So we want, with this great initiative, we know that my community in Western Province, wherever, they are going to really benefit a lot. And we don't want even these UPND guys to inflate figures. No, we want a house, a 2-bedroom house, or even a police post that costs 50,000, 60,000. It's possible, it's attainable. In rural areas, materials, yes, they cost a lot of money, but they can manage within the budgets that they're going to allocate to themselves. But not with this government, the previous government, that inflated figures. No, fire trucks at 1 million. Honestly, imagine what that money could have done to communities. So this is where we should appreciate Bakainde and his administration, together with the alliances. What they're doing is really, really symbiotic and very humble to the people of Zambia. People of Zambia should welcome this. It's a gift to have a leader that visualizes for the people, wants to work for the people, not Pakanwa. We don't want Pakanwa. We never voted Pakanwa. Like we saw in the previous, you sleep on money, yet the community is suffering 1.6 million at constituents fund. Why? Huh? So we want this government that has come up with this good idea. Let's hold on to this. Let's not trash them. It's too early. Thank you.
Yeah, I get your point. I get your point. Yeah, sorry. Myself, my image cannot be seen as of now, but I'm still following because we have ZESCO issues here. But besides that, you see, we need to understand, and I'm failing to understand very well how these people are trying to exaggerate. The Minister for Finance on Friday, he mentioned to say that all commercial roads, they will be done by the government, by the central government, and even the Minister of Infrastructure also mentioned to say commercial roads will be done by the central government, and this will be done together with the PPPs, a public-private partnership. That's when the roads will be done. Now, I'm wondering again why the members of parliament are complaining while they are told to say, this money we have given you, it is about for you to do also the roads and all that. I'm trying to understand, because all this time the councils have been doing the roads, but they have not been receiving the funding that they're supposed to do in terms of doing some of the community roads that they do. Imagine you get a plot where you are just shown this is your plot, but there is nothing which they have put in terms of putting the roads and all that. But now the councils will be able, as you are paying the service charge of 15 pin, 20 pin, 25 pin for the plot, the council also have some resources that will come from the CDF that will come in terms of the road development in the constituents. Is that not something good? What type of roads do these people want besides that? And once you make a road today, it is something that will be there for permanent, for a longer period of time. You don't make a road today, again next week you go make the same road, again the other week you make the same road. What type of thinking is these people who are criticizing this important thing that the government has put across? And I think everyone has agreed to why the economy of Zambia was in such a mess under the PF, because of the thinking and reasoning that is coming from there. You mentioned that Mwanawasa did a very good job. Have you ever read a book by Nganduma Gande, the depth of my footprints, something like that? Have you read that book for Nganduma Gande? Nganduma Gande,
yeah.
Please read that book. And when you read that book, Nganduma Gande mentioned and confessed that the President Mwanawasa was getting the ideas and the plan on how to learn and develop this country from the UPNG. And now the UPNG is in power, and they have just shown you with a serious bullet, boom. And now people, they want to bring us to be slow and thinking small. I think me, I'll not buy into that. What's your comment over that?
No, but Jeremy, I think even giving these guys a platform to just talk about them, I feel like we're just wasting our energy and time, because the Zambian people, we need to move forward like your party's their symbol. We have to just move forward, because the longer we sit back here and start talking about these guys who we know very well that their intentions are not good. Their intentions is to bring down the right things which the current government is doing, because they were ejected out of this government prematurely. So they are just wasting their time. These are last kicks of a dying horse. They know that the PF has really been destroyed by Balungu, and I don't think it will ever resurrect again, in my opinion, because they have a badge with terrible precedents, a badge with terrible management. There was no rule of law. That's why we even call them gangsters or the gang criminals. We call them all sorts of names because of the manner in which they governed us, under the pretext of Christianity and humbleness. Look at what they did to the country. We are in this mess today because of them. We're even surprised when Hakainde gives them 25 million. They are going to even enjoy this themselves, because they are Zambians. They will receive those 25 millions. And let's see how, because we know the reason why they're complaining. They know, they in their mind, they're thinking, inomba inenga mwapera constituency, yonsen dalamesho, inenkaliamo shinga. Because they know that they are not going to get anything from there. You see? And the people that they have been putting down, their lives are going to improve. Their business are going to improve. They even might be much better than them. Because they were not given opportunities. Kuma youths, they ended calling them youths disgruntled. You go and call the youths that you're supposed to empower disgruntled. You can tell that they had no foresight. They had nothing. They were just thinking of their bellies. That's why it's because their mind is just cornered in that area. They don't have a vision for the country. So it is imperative that we put them in the right place where they belong. Yes, they are our brothers. We love them, but imisango vachitile tatwase kelemo. They supplied us with so many kind of illicit activities and drugs. So why should we feel sorry for people that almost killed us? They killed us. So let us put them in the right place. And sometimes keeping quiet, not to respond to them, will be the best medicine. Let's give them enough rope to coil themselves, to completely hang themselves. So that they just die a natural death. That is the party natural death. Because they are on their way. 6 feet. That party is going. With the way UPND has come out right now, within 3 months. Because if it was PF, this would have been maybe 3 years, 4 years. But UPND has been in this government for only 3 months. And look at what they have done within 3 months. They have shaken the whole country, the whole continent. The whole world is talking about UPND and Zambian people. Zambian map is back on track. So let's just give credit where it is due. They are doing something positive, and we should applaud them. They deserve it.
On the point, perhaps we also need to remind them that we had teachers and health workers that were employed, and yet they are not getting their salaries. Can you imagine somebody being employed for 5 years, 4 years? They are working, but they are not being paid. What a shame! So they can't believe what has hit them. Within the first 2 months, the good news has come. 30,000 teachers will be employed, and those that have not been paid their salaries are going to be paid their salaries. 11,000 health workers are going to be employed. So I'm sure it's like they're trying to hide from their shame by trying to be clever by bringing useless arguments of and balancing figures, which is a minor issue.
Yes. Tukavapoka empia. In empia valelanda poti. Where are they going to find the money? Because the UPND is claiming when they came into power, they claim it's like valelanda what by UPND Vaisa 2 years ago into power. Where are they going to find money? The money is there. Actually, you, Avena Rusambo, Avena, all these guys in the PF, we know that you are sitting in Upamasaka, Yandalama. We are coming for that money. And this is the money that we are going to use. And of course, UPND is not going to sit back and wait for that money on those properties that they're going to retrieve from you, Kelenka, then and deliver to the people. No, they have also a huge plan. They have a plan in place, and we have the resources. We have the resources instilled in a raw form, and we are going to turn those into gold, and we are going to make money from those. So don't even dare go there and start asking questions. Mukasanga kuisempia. We know impia shomale oshoba kwetisha chalo. Mwali senda, mwali fisa, shimbisha litoloka numchalo. But tukashisanga, tukashibwesha. Elonga shavwela. Guys, and therefore I tumuka behind bars. We will make sure that we advocate for you guys who misused the money to go behind bars. At the same time, you lose your properties. I'm sorry, but that's the way it's supposed to be. Double jeopardy, whatever my arguments, yo academically, but the property we are going to get, because we want that property to get back. We are 60-something million to us in the Imagine what that money is going to do to the community, the very community where faith belongs. So we have to really, really think strategically and be smart. Yes, you are going to spit on him, whatever he's going to say, to do, but what is important is that his words and actions, they come to pass. And we know it will come to pass. So to send them PSO, Zambia has money. Zambia has the potential. So we are going to make sure that all those loopholes where this money has been going, infrastructure, all that, those will go back. The money will come back to the people. That's what it is. And imagine a rich man, a man who we call is rich. He has done things for himself. Imagine coming to rescue the Zambian people to say, guys, everyone should benefit. I want everyone to be like me or even more. So why can't we give him credit for that? What happens? Mwachinja. Mambo you had an opportunity by PF to make wonders, to bring paradise in Zambia, but you blew it. You blew it big time. Kadarism and lawfulness and ruliness, everything was just, people were scared to talk. So here we are talking in a free democratic country we are able to express ourselves freely and tell you, demanding to you to bring what you store to the Zambian people, so that we can use that money, Kuli Munia Zulu's constituency, and pay for those roads, which is he is claiming to say the budget is too low. Where was he? They were busy flashing in Dalam. So, our way, that require official complaints, let this man work. We know we are on the right track. And in Gamambo Klande TV, we are going to invoke Avena Mariteta to come and hunt you down.
Yeah, Jerome, let's do a bit of marketing in the midst of these serious issues. For those that are viewing us on TVBAKWETU, you can actually send the stars, and that's how TVBAKWETU runs the the program. If you can send some stars, and then that would be greatly appreciated. Jeremy, I don't know if you are able to see any comments from the chat. I don't know how to do that. I haven't checked it. It would be good also to see if there are comments. Even are you able to do that, to check if there are comments, and maybe we could just read those comments as well? You are muted.
I'm saying if sorry about that. If as I'm going through the messages, I think you can just go ahead, you and Jeremy, and to discuss further on the topic. Thank you.
Yeah, Jeremy, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much for that. And you see, I've followed the debate very well, and I'm happy on saying what is there. You see, I understand that we should not even give them any time, just like Mr. Kuimba as he mentioned. But the issue is also, let me mute myself, and let's continue discussing and see what is going to happen. There are just some noise coming back from my background here. Can someone?
I have a comment here. Let me just run through. By Lloyd Monga, Lusambo is gonna give this constituency all the funds towards education. How stupid is this guy? Sorry about that. he has insulted people from his constituency today that they have no capacity to administer the funds. And the other person is Shelly Shaw Mutambara, Yolanta Mildred, and you expect us to leave Africa. Oh yeah, he was responding to one of the friend here. And Wangula Ikafa Mubonda. They are already hanging themselves. There's too much wisdom in HH. They can't compare. Let them just watch and see what development really is. This was from our brother Boy Kafa Muwonda. And we have also is that not surprising how PF have not understood the concept of checks and balances. It's not about just finding fault. It's about proposing resolutions to what you disagree with. This is from Maud Walsh. Maud Walsh. I don't know where it doesn't show where he's communicating us from, but this was a very good point by Maud. And also we have Dennis, Susan Malumbe. PF are just shameless people, and they will soon fade away. Yes, Vomukelava, you are right. Let's move on with important topics. So this one, she was just acknowledging on what I said to say it's just wasting of much of time talking to them, talking about them, when we know what they are capable of doing, that they've done nothing but just the distraction. Mebo Mumba, again, hate speech will not help this country move forward. And CKs, our beloved educated president has done us proud with his emphasis on free education, and I hope that the next thing on the agenda will be raising the standard of education. Very serious, very important point there, my brother. I don't know if it's a brother or sister. It's just CKs from YouTube watching us. Then from Facebook, we have Mebo Mumba. Again, I think this lady, she's very active because Mwanawasa was a relative. He can be praised. This is how bad these tribes.
Oh, tribalism, eh?
I don't know where that came from, but otherwise we have to. That's how transparent we are on TVBAKWETU.
Indeed.
Then we have maybe I should now read the last one. If I may be allowed to go, Jeremy. Gentlemen, you are 100% right. PF shall never come back. Shame to them. Besides, HH government shall rule this country for the next 10 years. This was a very good, this was from Ashram. Yes, is watching us direct from his YouTube account. Maybe we can stop there and give our moderator to continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukela. Thank you so much. Jerome, over to you.
Okay, thank you very much. And you see, I wanted to say that when you check very well, the people or these people, as much as people are saying we should not give them time and whatever, but there are other TV stations and media houses who are covering them and giving them enough publicity and all that. And we need to stand up also, especially us who are in the UPND, to fight back this fake news or fake stories that the PF are trying to do, and the propaganda they want to put to the Zambian people. We need to every day explain and rebut that what we are giving our brothers and sisters who are in civil service and who are working in government to continue working in peace. The PF wants to play politics, and they need to meet us, the party members, in the political games. The way we have cut, Mouth Zampa pants down, the way we have cut Milna Zulu pants down. That's the way we need to continue and educating the members of the public so that we tell them what is happening and where it is happening. And if there's any problem, we need to speak out. But as things are, I think the propaganda for these guys will not go before, will not go unchallenged. We need to challenge that. I think that's what I have to say. We are remaining with only 12 minutes to go. Anyway, Mr. Kwirimba, what next?
We can continue reading let's just engage our audience as well. And I don't know where the rest of our panelists are. I don't know. It would have been nice if they came in and gave their also side of their story or their position. Otherwise, I can read just maybe a few before Kwirimba comes in. We have our brother Chinza Hams. Chinza Hams, thanks for the great discussion. Sorry, I missed that. Thanks for the great discussion. We need a clear and effective cleanup in my...
Okay, I'm going to cut a little bit of myself, so you can just continue. There's just something I need to attend to.
Okay, so, we need... Yes, please. We need a clear and effective cleanup in many institutions like education. We need serious reforms to our education system secular curriculum, local government, RDA, NRFA. We need people who will implement policies effectively with this budget. PF is gone. That is from our brother Chinza Hamze. And coming to Conrad Kapungwe Mwasa, but at least, okay, this one was responding to a friend on the fora, because there's also a lot of discussions going on behind on the fora as well. And people should just participate, and please send in those stars. You are doing a great job. And also share the link to so many friends and tell us where you are streaming us from, so that we know how our catchment area, so we can either improve. Today for Zambia. Satellite dish. So we have, is it 5G? And we have gift minds. Very, very, very true, because PF will try to frustrate a good cause. There must be need to put a strong measures. That is from our brother, gifted mind. I don't know whether it's a brother or sister. It was just gifted mind. I'm sorry for that. But then we have our brother Dennis Chisala Mwila, Mulungu Ruben. Jeremy does one response to issue. He doesn't. Okay, this one he was just responding to his colleague on the fora. Sometimes also there's a little bit of agreement and disagreement on the fora. As when you onto this forum, just go through the SMSs, the messages from, and thank you so much, Wamonde, for giving us the stars, and it is amazing. Please continue, give us more stars. Lloyd Monga. Oh yeah, I've already read about this one. I think we can just proceed now to our panelists. I don't know if there's someone in that has come. Well, Kathy.
Thank you, Wumkaleva. I think there's somebody, is that Chatha or Katha, whatever they pronounce it. Sorry about the pronunciation. Please come in and make your contribution. Let us know.
TVBAKWETU, can you hear me?
Yes,
we can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, my name is Chata. Okay.
Oh, Chata.
Okay.
Okay.
Lankulani muchichewa timveleko.
No, I'm a Kopala person. I've grown up in the Copper Belt, so I'm very fluent with Bemba.
Okay, just give us what you have on your mind.
Okay, I've been following your discussion. It's really sad that the PF wants to be doing the checks and balances so early, and trying to push this government. As you have all said, I've agreed with all what you have said. I think they need to give UPND time, and we are very happy with this budget that has come. But as we all want to see how it will be implemented, so we just need, I think, to ignore these guys. Bale Butafie all along, they were not in government. That's the way I look at these guys. They did nothing that was tangible, nothing that you can hold on. They're talking about the roads that they are not, there's nothing that is happening to the roads. The roads are already, in bad shapes, whichever roads they're talking about, So I think the only thing I can appeal to my people is, let's all rally behind this government. Let's help, to implement what these people have come up. You see, they've come up with good ideas. They've got the interest of the country at heart. They are looking for all of us. They're taking us all aboard. So all we can do as Zambians is to stand behind them, help them, and do this also wherever everyone is working. As you have said, if these monies are located, everyone should be on their toes. They should check, they should look and see what is really happening. Everybody should be doing their duty, not just sitting and saying, oh, everything will come, we'll do. Because at the end of it, if we don't do all this, we don't help along, if Zambia goes down, we all go down. It's our country at the end of it all. It's our country. We have to work hand in hand with these people. So all I'm doing, I'm praying that, our attitudes in Zambia will change, we try and rally behind these people, and help them. There are people just like us in the government, and one thing I've liked about them is there are people that you can approach. There was nowhere PF you could go and approach them and say, suggest, So people must really be on their toes now. This is a time for the country to wake up and start working, not for us to sit and relax and say, oh, now that everything is done, let's see what we are going to do. No, we need to work together. Thank you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you, Chata. Where are you joining us from?
I'm in England.
Okay.
I'm in Essex.
Oh, okay. So you are the host to our president.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what you have said is you have really hit the nail in the head. I just want to emphasize the need for our people, at the lowest level, at a ward level, the constituency level, to begin to participate in what is happening there. You will be amazed that when you talk to ordinary people at a ward level, they are not even clear, how these resources that have been given to constituencies in the past have been utilized. They are not even sure how the resources that are going to be given is going to be utilized. So I think, I'm just encouraging our friends, our Zambians, to participate wherever you are, at the lowest level of community, at the ward level. Please, read. There's a document that has been produced by Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. CD community or whatever. This Ward Development Committee guidelines. Please read them. There is plenty of room for everyone at the lowest level to participate in the planning, planning developments in our wards. All of us can play a role. You can join the ward development committee. There will be elections. There are elections going on actually right now in most of the wards. So people who are available, please make an effort and find out how you can participate at the lowest level. You can participate in elections. You can become a ward development committee member. You can become, even when you don't become a committee member, when they have meetings, community members are allowed to go and observe. When the ward development committees are having their meetings, there's a lot of work, and all of us can chip in. We can use our expertise. We can use our experience to give input to these structures, to these community level structures that are going to be planning for development for those wards, and then implementing those plans and monitoring what is going on. It's no longer something that you can say the MP is going to see what is happening at the community level. It's not for the MP alone. The MP is just part of the team that is going to be, directing this development at constituency level, and then the councillors, they will be part of the committees at ward level. So, but everybody can take part and can bring their knowledge, they can bring their expertise to really develop our wards. That's what I can say to appeal to Zambia, wherever you are. And another appeal really is for the youths. Youths take, and you all come from a ward somewhere. You come from a ward somewhere. Go and find out what is happening at your ward, because that's where you can participate. That's where you can have your skill, you can be trained in skills. That's where you can participate in business. You can be helped to form, maybe you can be part of an existing cooperative or form a new cooperative or form a business. Things will be happening at the ward level. This is a new dawn. Things are going to be happening at the ward level. So yes.
My brother, we actually have a shot by a minute, so I think we just need to wind up now before Monsha cuts us off there. So we just need to say just to thank our viewers that we end here. I know that I've taken over from you. Sorry, we can continue with our broadcasting in the background. Otherwise, we're given 1 hour 30 minutes, and we have shot by 2 minutes. That's typical us Zambian with time management.
I think we have tried. 1 minute is not bad. So are you going
This has been TVBAKWETU. Thank you so much, viewers, and thank you for your contribution. Wanachiwempala, Natumimona, it was very good that you will come to Monsha. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. We see you next time when we have the next topic. Thank you.